While the host of Sisters in Arms have taken every precaution to ensure that the content of this program is both current and accurate, errors can occur. The host assumed no responsibility or liability for any errors or omission in the content of this program.
The information contained in this program is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantee of completeness or accuracy. The opinions of the guests are not necessarily the same as the hosts.
Welcome to Sisters in Arms. I'm Kerrie Ann Auclair.
And I'm Renee Gagne. Together we serve as a Second Amendment resource for our communities.
And if you couldn't tell, today's episode is range bags.
And safety.
And safety. And we have our eyes and ears on, so that's always important. So I'm taking these off because I can't hear anything. So range bags.
Okay.
This is probably one of the biggest questions we get all the time, which is, what do I put in my range bag? And as you can see, our range bags probably are going to be a little bit different than maybe just somebody that go to the range and shoots, because we're instructors, so we always have a lot more extra of everything.
We always take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Like when a mama packs her diaper bag, you think, what are the kids gonna need? And that's basically the same thing. But as anybody, you don't have to be an instructor, anybody that's going to the range, when you start thinking that way, because you're always gonna maybe have someone next to you that forgot something or needs something, or something happens and they got a jam or something, and so you'll be able to help.
Right. And before we start diving into our range bags, we're just going to pop up the safety rules, the NRA safety rules, and remind everybody about that. So I think we have, there we go.
So always keep your gun pointed in a safe direction. What is a safe direction, Kerrie Ann?
Well, it's not pointing towards you.
Absolutely not.
So it's not pointing at anything you're not willing to destroy. So, and always keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot, until you're on target.
And always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use.
And know your target and what's beyond. So just wanted to remind everybody, take a picture of this on your screen, keep this in your range bag always. So this is the first thing that we want to make sure everybody does, and when we instruct people, we tell everybody, take the little card that you get at your class that you took to get your certificate. You should have received this little card, put it right in your range bag, somewhere where you can always see it and be reminded of the safety rules, which is really crucial and important. So let's dive into our bags.
All right.
Yeah.
So obviously when we started, our bags didn't look like this. This comes with experience, right? This comes with, darn, I wish I had that.
Right.
And so that's how your range bag ends up growing, right?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you say?
And the first thing you want to make sure that you have in your range bag, as you could see what we were wearing, their ears and eye protection. Very, very important. I also think, and I don't normally wear these, I have regular glasses that I wear, that's just fine, they're prescription glasses. And I also have a ball cap, which I don't have in my bag here, but I always have a ball cap to wear as well, because that's also helpful with those casings that are flying out of your firearm. That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, pew, 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 you always want to hear that. That means you're training. But
lots of times when you're shooting in a place that has partition walls, like if you're in bays, things are going to be bouncing off of those partition walls.
And those casings
not as much as when you're outside shooting in an outdoor range. You won't have that so much, but either way, the hat just helps.
The hat helps, and also if ladies don't wear a low-cut shirt.
Right. Even though that's not low-cut, can I go like this? See how it kind of lips out forward? Oh yeah. That is perfect for a casing to get right there and get jammed and burn you.
Yep. Ask us how we know.
Yeah, ask us how we know. So I think if we start with the things that you absolutely have to have, because this looks very overwhelming and it shouldn't be overwhelming. So just know that this is just going to come with over time, and you're going to grow. Your range bag is going to grow.
So eyes and ears.
Eyes and ears. So when we look at eyes and ears and people say, well, what brands? We don't do any of that. It doesn't matter. what brand it is, but there are different kinds. There are your basic ones that aren't electronic, and so you can't really hear as well with them because they're doing the job, right? They're making it so you can't hear anything.
Right.
So $10 you could probably get them for, right? And then your electronic ones
are super important.
Super nice because you take a battery, you turn them on, and then you can hear conversations, but it cuts out the gunfire. So these are really nice when you're trying to learn or trying to teach.
Because you can hear stuff on the range that you need to. Like if somebody says ceasefire or whatever it may be, then you can hear the range commands a lot easier with those.
If someone next to you says, uh-oh, you want to hear that, right? I have a problem. You want to hear that, right?
I need help.
So
I had a malfunction.
It's even if you're not instructing or you're not taking a class and you're not learning, still you want to be able to know what's going on around you. Exactly. It's kind of like driving a car with earplugs in. You can't hear horns. You can't hear things. So you just want to be able to have that faculty.
And then the other thing I like to carry in my range bag, because the bigger stuff that I have at home for like cleaning my firearm, but I always have this little mini kit. This little mini kit that basically is for cleaning your firearm, but it's super crucial because if something's not working correctly and you notice that your firearm's a little dry, then you have the opportunity of oiling it. And these are actually very good too, because if you did have a malfunction, you might be able to use these tools as well to rectify the issue. And that's another show, malfunctions and misfires.
Right.
But
that's really good because if for some reason you get something stuck in your barrel, it's not dangerous at that point, having something stuck in the barrel. It's the subsequent shot that is going to make the gun problematic.
Right.
So if you had something in the barrel and you couldn't reach it, this would be able to push it through, hopefully.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
This isn't just for cleaning. It would be multi-purpose because you could then dislodge, a bullet that is stuck.
Yep. It happens, and but again, like I said,
it may never happen, or it could happen to you 2 times in one session. You don't know. That's the thing.
Malfunction, misfires will happen. Maybe not that particular one, and that's another show we can do because I think that's super important.
Yeah.
We might be able to do it even on the range, maybe.
There are words that people don't know that have been shooting for years, like squib load, what that is. It's horrifying to me that there are people that shoot that don't know what that is. You may never experience it, but if that happens, you want to know how to handle it. So we'll do one.
I think that's
our next one. That'll be good.
That'd be good. We can do something at the range, and so we can actually show you the different malfunctions.
Perfect.
So let's see what else. Another thing I like to use is these are bore snakes, and these are really, really, really great for cleaning your firearm. But I actually like it too because rather than me trying to figure out if I have something stuck in the barrel, I actually go through the breech and then I pull it out this way. So if it's not going through, then I know there's something stuck.
Right, so say this is my barrel, right?
Yep.
So you drop it in. If it falls through the whole barrel, then you know that it's a patent barrel and there's nothing occluding it.
And I like this too because I know I have a finicky firearm, the Victory, and it gets finicky and it loves to mount.
22s are finicky, right?
It is. So this is a really great in between cleaning your firearm. So like maybe, you know what I mean? If you just throw it to the barrel, you can't see this probably very well, but there's little teeth here.
Yeah.
So
pretty sharp.
And, yeah, they are. And this is specific to the actual cal. So this is 9mm, 357, 380, and 38.
Right. So they have pistol bore snakes and they have rifle bore snakes. Obviously your rifle bore snakes are going to be longer because your rifle barrels are longer. So it makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's
and why wouldn't you use a 22 bore snake on a 357 barrel? Because it's just so tiny, you wouldn't be having a nice tight fit to get all of the residue out of that barrel.
And another thing I like to have is a flashlight. And I like having a flashlight, and I think it's probably for everybody. Just because we're an instructor doesn't mean that we just have these things for some of the stuff we do, obviously. But the flashlight's good because if you are at a range and I don't know about you, but some ranges in between the bays are not that brightly lit. it's out further to the back bay. You know what I mean? That's lit a little bit more. So sometimes you can't see very well. So the flashlight is really good to just kind of inspect your firearm, or if you have a malfunction or a misfire, there is that. And tools.
Okay, so here's my headlight, right? Here it is. So when I have a malfunction or misfire, I use this to see inside
And you have
the gun,
2 hands.
right? The barrel, because it's so important to make sure that there is nothing in that barrel. If you don't know where your shot went and you don't think it came out, you want to make sure you know that before you shoot it again.
Or even the Victory, it has a tendency to do like stovepipes and then double feed, and then it just sometimes gets all jammed up in there.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge malfunction, but you might need a little bit of extra light to kind of like see the situation. And then tools. I've used this thing
Look
multiple
at
times.
this.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike. Wow, what do you know? These make great stocking stuffers too.
I think that's what I gave you girls
you
one time.
did. So long ago. This is my very first toolkit.
Yep.
very
And it's
special.
good because you can kind of go in there and pop it out.
I love it. And you know what else it's good for? Your Victory has a red dot on it.
Yep.
And how stinky is it when your battery dies?
Not fun.
Now it's just, so
Nope.
this is really good to get into that very quickly.
Magnifying glass.
Girl.
Do you have one?
Yeah, you know, mine's slightly larger.
This is great too, because I've had students before where they dumped the 9mm in the ammo box with the 380s by accident, and you're like, oh no. So on the bottom of the cartridge, you will see what the actual, which I wish I had an empty one to show you, but you'll actually see what the cal is going to be, or the caliber of that particular cartridge is. So it'll say 9mm or 45 or
380.
380s. 22s doesn't say it, but you obviously can tell what it. But so this is great to kind of look in the bottom and be like, oh yeah, that's that, and painstakingly, you
is.
just
It's
have
so
to
nice.
make a little pile.
Right, and then that's where your headlight comes in.
There you go, because then
Right.
you can do it with both hands.
Right, because you can shoot at night too.
Right.
There's not always sunlight.
Right, and that's good training.
Right.
Good training. 'Cause
What about,
a knife.
right?
Yeah.
You never know when you need it.
No.
This knife, the edge of it is so sharp and skinny that I have actually pried cartridges out
22s.
of out of the chamber if
'Cause it's-
they
it
get-
hasn't
if it
been
got stuck
extracted or whatever.
correctly. I mean, yes, absolutely. So, and it does it in such a way that it's not scratching, because you don't want to use
Or
things
we've
that are gonna-
used that multiple times for new gun owners, because they usually bring this all in the package.
Oh, that's that too. They can't even unwrap what
They're
they
like,
have, and you know. So
I got a knife.
yeah, so this will cut into the packaging. That multi-purpose for
I
for
even
tools.
have, I don't know about you, but I even have extra, so these are ear plugs, and sometimes, depending on the situation, I sometimes double up, because we went to a range one
I
time and it
always
was
do.
so loud. I'm like, I gotta go outside and double up. So I had these on, and then I had my
Yeah.
actual ears, electric earmuffs on too, because it was loud.
And you can actually, you know how yours is attached? You can just snap it off if you don't want the string.
Well, yeah.
You know, you could do that too. And so for the people with tiny little eustachian tubes and tiny ears, these are really huge. They actually sell junior ones. They're blue typically, and they're like half the size. So if you have
Oh, I
tiny
didn't know
little,
that. Oh, yeah. That makes
the
sense.
juniors use them. That's how I learned about it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
these just don't fit in
No,
my,
and they hurt sometimes. They
my
hurt.
mouth is big, but my ears are not. So these don't fit for me, but I like to double up too. Even after years and years of listening to gunfire, I'm still sensitive to it.
Right.
Concussions, migraines, you know, anybody that has that type of head injury stuff or conditions, you're going to be, it's going to probably
Right.
bother you more.
Right.
So doubling up is a great option.
And look what else I got. Oh, yeah.
Where did my shot go? I don't know. I can't see 100 yards.
Yep. And so you have an
Yep.
opportunity to kind of look to see, even
Perfect.
the indoor range. I think, you know, when you're, that's not far. What is it? 45 feet in there, the indoor range.
50.
50.
50
But
feet,
even
yeah.
then, it's hard to see.
Yeah, it is
So
hard.
it's nice to do that rather than bring in your target back every 5 seconds.
Right. Speaking of targets, what do you have for targets?
I don't have any in here because I have a whole bag separated just for targets.
Yeah. So lots of times the ranges that you go to, you have to supply your own targets. So what if you realize I don't have targets? You can make them out of paper plates, right? Anything,
awesome.
piece of paper, really. But I like these because they're a little bit stronger. You can just put the bullseye. I don't know if
Make
you
a
can.
happy
there you
face.
go. Look, yeah, anything you want, right?
Yep.
So just be resourceful. This sport does not have to be expensive. It can be as inexpensive as you want it to be.
Yep, I even have this for when I am instructing. I like putting this on my belt. In here I can put my phone. I can put a couple other tools in here if I need to. So it's readily available to me, which I like. I even have a fanny pack. A fanny pack. But these are all great things. I have extra cloths because I don't know about you, but I'm a little weird. So when I sit there and I go onto the bench, I like to put this down first,
Yeah,
then
well,
put my
some-
firearm down.
Some firearms are very expensive. You
Yeah.
don't want to scratch them, and you
Right.
don't know what kind of debris is on the bench. So
Right.
safeguarding your firearm with some sort of fabric or something to,
So-
hopefully. Nice.
Right, yeah, because some ranges don't have de-lead soap.
Nice.
And why
what
do-
is de-lead soap, Kerrie Ann?
Well, when you shoot your firearm, you can't help it. You're going to end up getting lead on your hands. It's not a bad thing. That's why in the indoor ranges, we have nice ventilated systems, so you're not inhaling any lead. But it's super crucial that when you're done shooting, that you wash your hands with cool water with de-lead soap as much as possible. Especially when you're cleaning your firearms, you definitely want to wear gloves and wash up, again, with de-lead soap. They have wipes too. Do you have
Right.
wipes?
I do not have wipes because I'm cheap.
Yeah, me.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. But the range that I have a membership to has de-lead soap.
Right.
So
And why in cool water?
to not open the pores.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
And there's always going to be some sort of debris, heavy metal and lead. So that's why you're washing with de-lead.
Right.
And at our range, there's de-lead and antibacterial.
Which is both.
And they're different, right?
Right.
So that's the difference.
Right. Do you carry staples too?
I certainly do carry staples. And you know what else I carry?
What?
Staples, yes, because, let's see, and I have tape.
Oh yeah, and I think I have paper clips.
I
somewhere
have a
else, too.
stapler and staples because guess what? One time I was at the range stapling up everybody's and I ran out. And I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? No one has staples, so now I have staples.
Yep.
So it's all live and learn type
Right.
of situations.
And not for nothing, but I'm pretty good with loading my magazine. But in the beginning, I don't know about you, it was tough,
Yeah.
especially for new magazines. They're very,
The
very
springs are very tight.
tight.
Yep.
But this is great because this is a fast loader, an easy
Yep,
loader.
a nice speed loader.
Yep. And
Yep.
it's really great for women that might have arthritis or have a hard time loading their magazine. So it is a great option. I even have, I forgot I even have this all in here. I have extra holsters in here. I have a magazine holder because we train. I'm like, there it is. Oh, there's that.
So
Yep.
what about, now we're not really going in order at this point, but I feel like this is something that you should have in your range bag. If you get a call, like I have kids in school, the nurse today, this happened, my daughter had to come home. So if you're at the range and you have to leave, you have to go to school, you can't bring the gun into the school.
Right.
So you need to leave it in the car. So if you have one of these, I think they're less than $20,
Yeah.
right? You can get them
Anywhere.
everywhere. This would be great to have, and then you would be able to safely lock your gun up and leave it in the car.
Yep. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, so tiny enough, light enough that you can just put it in here, just to be prepared if forever you had to stop at the post office on the way home.
I have them
or-
in my car. I have two
Yeah.
wrapped around the car seat. There's a little
Yeah.
cable that comes with those.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things but the primary goal is making sure that whatever you have in your bag is available to you when you need it, because you don't know when you're going to need it.
Right.
Sometimes I even have gloves because we do train outside in the cold weather. I even have walkie-talkies that are attached to my certain ears that I have. So if I'm talking to another instructor, it can be like, hey, we just had a ceasefire, someone's not feeling well, or whatever it may be, so we can communicate with each other. I have training tools that I can put on my firearm that helps me or helps students. I show them, they put this on their firearm, so it's training tools and stuff like that. God, I don't know, am I missing anything? I feel like I have like
So the
20,000
nurse in
more.
me, my brain automatically goes to medical, quick, fast acting, and so I have tourniquets. These are just little rubber throwaway ones. So most likely, statistically, you will never need a tourniquet, but God forbid if you ever did,
Right.
you need to stop the bleeding somehow.
Right.
So we have that. And at the range, we have a whole kit, an AED right
Yep.
on the wall.
And us being instructors, I have my own little first aid kit that I carry with me.
Yeah.
And I put it wherever.
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether or not, and you can't always rely on the first aid kit to wherever you're at, because we don't know whether or not it's everything that's inside is up to date.
Right.
And
We
or
should
if
be
they
looking
have,
at it.
Right. We
Every
should be
month
looking.
they should be looking and
They
making
should.
sure.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
our range.
No,
I'm just
our
saying-
range does.
Yep. But other ranges or
Right.
other places that you go to.
Right.
Maybe it's a private range even. So.
Yep. I have my little hat here, and I have a bunch of extra magazines in here for my gun. And pens.
Oh,
People might wonder
or
why
markers.
pens. But you know why? Because when I shoot, I want to be going for a purpose, right? I'm going to learn, to train, to get better. I'm not just shooting lead down range just for the fun of shooting stuff. That's not why I do this.
Yeah.
So I like to have a pen, circle things. I'm kind of geeky like that. I like to write the date, and I like to see improvement.
Yep. Or I go down range after and then circle where I hit,
Yeah,
then come back
Yeah.
and do it again. And then whatever I didn't
Right.
circle is my new.
exactly. So you're reusing targets,
Yeah.
so that's
Yep.
helpful.
But the marker's good too.
Yeah.
And Sharpies.
And also, if there's some sort of an incident that you need to take notes, somebody's down, you're applying a tourniquet, you might want to take notes. When did the tourniquet go on? What interventions did you do?
Right.
Who were the players? Who was there?
Right.
You could have 30 people in the room. You want to know who's doing what.
Right.
So these are all things you want to think about. I wish it was all puppy dogs and rainbows, right? As
No,
John
and
Green
this
from
is
Goal
overwhelming,
says.
honestly. But I mean, our bags are. You got to remember that we've been doing this what 6-7 years now, and we have gathered a lot of stuff.
Take something out. What would you remove that you didn't need? Maybe
Nothing.
walkie-talkies, maybe.
Well, I guess maybe walkie-talkies.
Because you could always just take it off and yell after you cease fire and no
Right.
one's shooting.
Maybe walkie-talkies
But
and stuff
other
like
than that, like there's not a whole lot
No.
that you would.
I mean, I got fanny packs in here.
I mean, do you
know.
need this? Maybe. What if someone's downrange and has a heart attack? I don't know. I just feel like
Or
there's
you could
nothing
be,
in
you
here
could be
that I don't
Lou-
need.
Lou Harris, who was like, "What's that? Oh, look, it's a snapping turtle."
Yeah, cease fire. There's a snapping turtle downrange. Now suddenly my safe direction is not safe.
Yep.
So it
Cease
can
fire.
happen like that.
Yep.
And we've had that happen.
Yeah, he
at
was
our
a big,
range.
big,
Absolutely.
big boy.
Absolutely.
Lou was the hero.
Mm-hmm. Lou
Saved
the
the
glue.
day. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I probably go a little above and beyond because I have literally 2 cleaning kits in here, which I'm
Well,
glad
it's-
I do because I just realized that leaked oil everywhere.
It's just the more education you have, it's just like a car. When you first drive your car, this is a multi-tool. Right?
Yeah.
My ear's itchy. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what that's for. When you first drive your car, what do you have in your car, right? It's snowing and you need to scrape your car. Oh geez, I'm a new driver. I never thought that I needed a scraper. So
Right.
a lot of the stuff that you acquire, it's because you put yourself in a situation where you quickly learn, eeks, I wasn't prepared.
Right.
Extra clothes in the back of your car because you've got a flat tire and you need warmth. You know,
Right.
it's just being prepared. That's what all of this is.
Right. I even have a multi-tool. But
Oh,
this-
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yep, this is awesome.
Yep, you got a wire cutter in there. I love that.
Yeah, I got a wire cutter. I got all
I
sorts of
love
stuff. There's
that.
tools and there's extra tools on the side too. But this is really good because you just don't know. You just don't
Right.
know what you're going to need. Maybe your sights need some adjusting, or who
Yeah,
knows? You just never
don't-
know.
You just don't know.
You just don't
So
know.
back to the open bore indicator or the flag. You can put this in the breech end of the barrel, and it lets everybody know when they see this as it's laying down on a bench somewhere that the gun is not loaded.
Right.
So this is super
I
helpful.
love that when you're instructing.
It's a quick visual.
Yep.
Right.
You can look downrange and see all the pretty little
Right.
flags
Right.
and know everybody's doing what they
Right.
needed to do.
Because black guns on black surfaces are hard to, it's hard to see. Even, if the slide's locked back, it's still hard to see sometimes if
Right.
the chamber's empty. So you
Right.
really want to be able to visualize that, and this is a dead giveaway. And
Right.
there's orange
Oh.
ones, fluorescent ones.
Extra batteries too.
Mm-hmm.
Extra batteries because these
Right.
these die.
Yeah,
And
so do your red dots.
yeah.
For all you red dot lovers.
Red dot levers.
Yep,
I
red
mean,
dot
I got,
levers.
oh my gosh, I got so many things in here. But
You have oil. Everybody should have oil, even if you're not going to use it at the range to clean. If you have a jam or your gun, I'm sorry, not a jam, but it's just not feeding right, or it's not ejecting right. Sometimes if you just put a dab of oil, you'll quickly
right.
solve the problem just
Right.
from a couple drops of oil.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
22s seem notorious for that,
Oh,
right?
it's because it's the rim fire. It's just
I know.
one of those things. It's just not a.
How are we doing for time?
We got 2 minutes left, so let's wrap it up. So
Okay.
this is a lot.
Wow. A half an hour we spent
know.
talking about what to bring to the
I know
range.
we get excited because
Oh,
it's
can
like
we talk about one more thing?
Yeah.
It's not what you need, but think about before you go to the gym. If you're going to go do an intense workout and think that you're going to shoot awesome, there's a pretty good chance that your arms are going to be shaking, you're going to feel depleted. So time your workouts to coincide with what you're doing at the range. If you're a coffee drinker and you don't drink coffee, you could be jittery. If you're a coffee drinker and you drink too much coffee, you could be jittery. If you're on medication that makes you shaky, you could be jittery. If you're tired, there's many reasons why you don't have a nice steady hand. So just think about those reasons before you plan your trips
Yep.
to the range. It will
And
just
if you
help
have questions, email us at sistersinarms2022@gmail.com. This is a lot. Don't be overwhelmed with it. Honestly, it's simple. Just remember those safety rules. Remember eyes and ears,
Yeah.
and protect yourself.
Yeah, and the
But-
beauty is you can just rewind this episode and just take
Yep.
notes.
Yeah,
That's what the show is
absolutely.
for. The show is free education for you to stay safe.
Awesome. Well, until next time, we don't have our cups.
We don't have our cups.
Stay safe. Hey!
Stay safe. Be vigilant.